should tell you guys, the motor took a shit. It's knocking, and please excuse the music in the background. My neighbors are out, so I'm gonna pull this motor out and probably do it DIY. But yeah, it's knocking. It still starts and everything. I moved it forward, but it doesn't really want to stay on. Well, first we're gonna remove the battery tray and then remove the harness from the inside. Once you remove the battery, you gotta remove the battery tray because the engine harness goes to there. So it's like 3 number 12 bolts. So let's get that. And once the battery tray is off, see there's 1, 2, and 3 bolts. Take 2 number 10 nuts off, and then that's to the harness. Then we're gonna go inside from there. Once you pull it off, the nuts, this thing gets loose. Just gotta go disconnect it from the inside. And as you notice, I don't have AC on the car right now, which I do have the lines and everything, so I'm gonna put the AC back on. And the motor I'm putting in here is it's not a stock motor, but a non-vtec one, just to either gonna sell the car or just drive it daily with AC. Or maybe even throw a vtec head on and boost it, but nah, we'll see what happens money wise. And I'm probably gonna repaint the engine bay white. You know your car's been sitting too long that there's ants all over. The kick panel, remove this. The ECU is gonna be right here. And most likely it has like 4 bolts to it or nuts. Pull it out. This one has like maybe 1. And then just unplug it. Just unplug it, just push it, the pin, and pull it out like that. Same thing. And then we're gonna remove this because this goes to the dash harness. And then now the harness is free. All you gotta do is just pull it out from the engine bay and wiggle it. Alright, so since we freed it on that side, see, just pull it up. One plug at a time. Don't try to pull everything out at once. Arms in the way. There you go. Boom, it's out. Just gonna unplug whatever's around it, like the firewall. So we got this brake booster hose. We got the fuel line down here. The other fuel feed to the fuel rail. And we got the harness also connects, powers up from the fuse box. So we'll take that out. And then we have a starter wire, which goes to the battery. Right here, goes to the starter. Take that out. You're gonna have the ground, loosen that. Another ground right here. And yeah, I'll go step by step. But first, let's remove the intake because it's in the way. Intake's off. Now I'm just gonna remove the starter wire right here, which is a 12. Make sure it's not plugged to the battery, which we already removed, but yeah. 12 right here, or 13. Starter wire is off, which is the positive wire for the battery. So see, it's no longer connected to the engine. And we're gonna have to remove this Phillips screw right here because it connects to the harness. Is that when you take off the screws, make sure you put it back so you won't lose it, or you can put it in the bag. But see how I took this off? And I screwed it back on. I'm gonna do the same with those nuts and all the other stuff if I can. Thing is the harness on this side, mine's kind of tucked, so it was hiding. So just pull this plug off. Sometimes it's a bitch to pull off, but sometimes it'll come off easily. So yeah, this one doesn't really come off. I use 2 hands. The harness is basically free from the chassis, and we just throw it on the engine like that because we're gonna pull the engine off. And after that, we just, we could jack it up, drain the coolant, oil, and the trans. And a lot of people would loosen up the axles before the axle nut, but I'm not gonna pull the axles off because we're gonna reuse them. So I'm just gonna take the lower ball joint off and the tie rod, so we can just pull the knuckle out and then let the axles hang. So yeah, basically now we're just gonna drain all the fluids, jack up the car. Well, actually I'm not gonna jack up the car yet because I'm just gonna remove the power steering belt and let the pump hang right here, and just do the stuff that I need to do on the top side first. Pretty much like fuel lines, starter cable, hoses. Coolant be last. Once I jack it up, and then we have to do the slave cylinder. Just let it hang. And slave cylinder is just 2 bolts right here, 12 millimeters. Pull it out. Power steering pump's off. Let's tackle this with a 12 millimeter wrench. Loosen both sides, and it'll come right off. And you guys didn't know how to loosen this thing. Just loosen this all the way, both screws, and detach it from here. So just pull it like that. There's a little slot opening for it right there. Boom. See? And it's off. So once you do this, loosen this all the way to this side right here, and just pull it through the notch. Ready to jack it up. I already loosened up the axles with a 32 millimeter socket. And what's left is just like the coolant system, radiator, all the hoses, and the fuel. And when I jack it up, it's gonna be like the shift linkage, axles, and loosen up that rear mounts and the side mounts. Then we can pull it out. Oh, and the torque mounts this side and the AC bracket on this side. Jacked up the car, put on jack stands. The wheels are loose already. Draining the coolant right now into the bucket. Look at all that nasty. Disconnected the the fuel line right there, 17. Make sure the washers are there. And at that, I'm gonna just tackle the axles. So we're back a couple days later. Get the radiator off. It's almost ready to come off. Just gotta unplug the axles and shift linkage. So shift linkage, I took out that 12 millimeter. But look right here, the cotter pin wasn't all the way in. Not the cotter pin, the bitch pin. This car is like half-assed, because from what I see, like it's missing the exhaust bolts, 2 of them. And then you look up there, I'm trying to get it, missing a couple header bolts, and the other ones are loose. I had a feeling this car was boosted before because it's missing everything. And look what I see on the oil pan, the fitting for the return line. So sorry, the motor was like acting up a little, and like, I don't know, it just felt weird. So finally had a rot knock. So I'm gonna take this out and remove the axles. Once I get this exhaust out and the axles out, I can do the top part and just remove the mounts and pull the motor out. Not to mention the exhaust, like the piping, no cat, with a looks like 3-inch muffler, shop style exhaust, crush and bend with the Grady Evil exhaust. When I was taking out the bitch pin from the shift linkage, I decided to use this 1/2-inch little adapter for the drill impact. Hit it. This thing fits perfectly onto this, and you just hammer this. It's a little short, but maybe you could add a socket that you don't need, so more leverage. I mean, more longer to hold. So it came out pretty easy, and I used my 3-pound hammer, so we good. she's out. Frame looks like it's trash, but I need a daily and get this car running, so maybe I just throw the Y7 in, find a turbo kit for cheap or whatever, boost it just for fun, get it like, I don't know if I can find a clutch on time, get a decent clutch to hold the boost. We'll see, maybe 7 pounds, 10 pounds. But yeah, I want to paint the engine bay, but I don't know if I have time. Fuck, it's almost empty though, but I want to repaint it white. Well, let's see. Gotta see, now you can see the turbo feed line right here, the return line. Gotta remove the tranny, distributor, intake manifold, exhaust manifold off this original motor and put on the new motor. But the new motor, shit, it's not zooming. The new motor, one of the flex plate bolts are stuck, so I can't really separate the tranny, the automatic tranny, from the motor. So I gotta work on that. But in the meanwhile, probably just bring this to the back. Whoever took the turbo kit off or whatever and put the exhaust manifold back on, I just took the cover off right here. I was missing 1, 2, 3, 4 screws for bolts, nuts, and then look, they're loose, the other ones. I'm surprised I didn't have an exhaust leak. It's weird, but half-ass people, man. So the exhaust is off. There's another thing that I was talking about on one of my other videos when I did the timing belt. My post mount. Whoever did that shit half-assed it, messed it up, stripped it. I tightened it, but it gets loose again. Look, and that shit will fall off on you. That shit would have fell off on me. So it was bound for this motor to come out anyways, and me do everything the right way because the previous owner didn't care about it. So see, let's boost it. And these nuts aren't the right factory ones. These are either like intake manifold ones or like, I don't know, since they have a turbo manifold on it, the valves are like, I want to see what kind of clutch is in there. So I'm gonna put this on the dolly and remove the tranny.